Today, we'll look into data types in JavaScript. This video can act as a starting point in your JavaScript learning. Below are the data types listed which JavaScript supports. In this video, we'll learn about the first five data types listed here. I'll cover the rest of the data types in another video. Before we go into deep using our code, what are data types in JavaScript? Let's see this in terms of a real world example. What does data type means in the real world? If you see this image, right, it's a car in the real world. So if you ask some questions about this car, you'll realize the concept of data types. For example, this car has certain data attributes associated with it. For example, you can ask this question, right? What is the color of the car? How many tires does the car have? Whether it's an electric vehicle or not. These are all data attributes associated with your car, and all of them have some kind of value. For example, when you answer this question, what is the color of the car? You say orange. Now, orange is a value. Similarly, the color of the car could be red, white, black. Now, all these value are of type string. They are all string, right? So you can say that the color of the car holds a data which is of type string. Okay. Now let's see the second. Let's try to answer the second point here. How many tires does the car have? So we know the answer is four. Okay. Now four is a value which is of type num, right? If you ask the same question in terms of say motorcycle, you know a motorcycle has two wheels, meaning same thing. Two is a number. Now let's try to answer the third question, right? Whether it's an electric vehicle or not. Now the answer is either yes or no, true or false. So these kind of values, whether it's yes or no, true, false, falls into a category called as Boolean. Now let's go back to our example and try to convert this into a code. Now let's first declare the variable, say color of the car. So the value was orange. So it's a string. So whenever we define string, we put it in double quotes. Okay. So if I try to check the data type, okay, so the data type of this variable, which is color of car, is JavaScript supports a method called as typeof, which basically gives you the data type of the variable declared. So we want to know the data type of this particular variable. Now to run this code, we can do a very simple thing for our learning purpose. Go to your extensions, type code runner. There's an extension available called as code runner. Install this. I've already installed it. Once you install it, or once it shows you that it is installed, you can click on F1. Just type run code. Click on it. So if you see the value here, it says the data type of color of the car is string. Okay. Now let's try to do it for the. Okay, let's create another variable. So second variable what we had was, say, number of tires. Okay, now we know the value was say, 5. So 5 is just a number. There's no need to put that inside double quotes. You can declare another variable is electric vehicle. Now it could be true or false. So let's say false. Now just now the type of say number of tire. Now let me copy the variable here. Let's do the same thing for electric vehicle. Okay, if you've done this, let's run our code again. So if you see here, right, The data type of color of the car is string. The data type for number of tire, which is holding the value 5, is number, and its electric vehicle is boolean. Okay, so we have covered the first three data types. Now let's cover the fourth one, which is an important one. So again, taking our real world example, sometimes what happens, you're you want to create a variable, but you don't know what its value right now. Let's take an example. For example, if you want to see the say future cost of your vehicle after 5 years, so you know it will have a value after 5 years, but you're not sure what that value could be. So in such cases, you want to define it as null. So null doesn't mean that it does not have value. Null means it has a value, but right now we don't know what that value is. In such scenarios, you can assign the values future cost. Now the interesting part is when you try to go ahead and check the type of, so JavaScript acts a bit weird here. So you would assume or you would expect the type to be null, but let's run this thing and see what JavaScript gives you. So JavaScript treats all null values as object. So what is object? As I said, we'll see it in some another video. But just for your understanding, just remember this thing, right? So even if you define something as null and you use type of operator, it will give you object. Okay, and this is how JavaScript works. Now the fifth point or the fifth data type we had was undefined. Now undefined is very simple, right? Sometimes you define a variable like this. Okay, my service center. Now I don't know, I have purchased a car, I don't know what my service center is, and suppose I just don't assign it anything, I just kept it as is. For example, you can say my service center is XYZ, but you can also just leave it as is, meaning you have not assigned any value to this variable, or you have left this variable undefined. Okay, so let's try to see what happens when you leave the variables without any value. Again, F1, run your code. You see the data type of the service center is undefined because you have not defined anything. So with this, we have covered the five data types. We'll cover object, symbol, begin in detail in some another video. But I hope it's clear to you about what is data type and what are the data types in JavaScript. I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.